Courage and the boldness that you gain after speaking affirmations over yourself. The more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining our show. You have just tuned into Where is the Love? I am your host. I am Stephanie Hawken Hall, and joining me is my son, Gene Williams, our co-host. Hey son!
What it do?
I'm so excited about this show today. I'm excited to be able to share information and give information to people to help them understand bullying. You make me look short.
Well, I mean, you might say short, let's say vertically challenged.
Oh boy, okay. Y'all, we are here to share information about bullying with you, different aspects of bullying, and definitely, where is the love in bullying? There's no love in bullying. When you are bullying others, you want to control them. You want to have power over them and talk down to them and devalue them. So real love treats others the way they want to be treated. Real love is kind. Real love is patient. Real love is nice things, not mean and evil things. So let's get to this show. So to recap last week, you want to start?
Okay. All right. So on our last show, we talked about nonverbal body language. Our information for today comes from a few different sources and researchers, as well as from our own personal experience. So
Yes.
The subject for today's subject matter is something that everyone has to deal with. It's called rejection.
Yeah. You're right. It happens to all of us. So what do we do when we are rejected? It's not a good feeling. It's not a nice feeling, but it's a part of life. So how are we dealing with it? You can go ahead.
Agreed. All right. So rejection is like pain in the brain. In the same area of the brain gets triggered when we experience both physical and emotional pain. In other words, the brain can't tell the difference between the pain of a breakup and the pain of a broken arm. But I kind of want to challenge that just a smidge. You know the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Okay?
Yeah.
Your bones heal from, brokenness.
Yes.
But we tend to hold on to emotional trauma, long term, and it actually dictates often how we operate as a person long term. So honestly, like those rejection and other things that are more emotional trauma cause the most long-standing and long-enduring trauma and injury, in my opinion.
But you are still able to heal from that.
Absolutely.
So the point is, in both of those aspects, you're broken, but you can heal, and you will heal if
Right.
if you take care of the situation,
Right.
and if you address it.
Absolutely.
So with the broken arm, if you address it with the cast, by going to the hospital and all that, there's healing.
Right.
Emotional pain, If you address it and not ignore it and act like it doesn't exist, if you address it and approach healing by desiring to heal and looking for ways to heal in that area, you can.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So self-imposed isolation is often the result when an experience with rejection becomes a full-blown fear of it. Self-imposed isolation is the act of isolating or separating oneself or itself from others. So some of the key points: a key response to rejection is commonly referred to as hurt feelings, triggered by events including criticism, betrayal, or dissociation. People feel rejected when their relational value to others is perceived to not be high. Increasing one's own feelings of acceptance can begin with
I cut it off.
I'm like, okay, all right, it's all right.
Oh, it can begin with determining whose opinions are most important.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
I get it now.
So one of the things I want to back up to feeling rejected, when people feeling rejected when their relational value to others is perceived not to be too high. We can't get into that too much, because if we do, then we get into self-pleasing or or people pleasing is
Right.
what I meant to say. So don't look too, don't change because you're looking to the relational value in something. Well, if I do this, then they'll like me. Don't do that. Don't go there, because then you'll be be people pleasing.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I kind of stumbled over that, but go ahead. Hopefully it's received the way it was meant.
Right. So actually, one of the things I want to say is, like, we have to understand first and foremost that the person whose opinion matters most and is most important is the one we have of ourselves.
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time, and unfortunately, because I experience it personally a lot, and people who are different experience it as well. People will always, regardless of what you do, how nice you are, how sweet you are, people will always have an issue with you.
Yep.
And that is not your responsibility.
At all.
Your responsibility is to be your best self.
Yeah.
At all times. Rejection is normal. I mean, you got to think about the fact that 99.9 times out of 10, when people reject you, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because they can't accept it at that time.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And the goal is to ultimately not take it personal.
Yeah.
It's, you get rejected because of you're not whatever. But the biggest thing is just ultimately to love yourself.
Yeah.
Have a high opinion of yourself. Also be very empathetic and sympathetic and understanding and loving to other people, so that you're not only giving yourself love, but you're also exuding love.
Right.
So that, the energy that you give yourself matches the energy that you give to the world, so you receive that back.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, that's manipulation. You put it out. I mean, the law of attraction. You put out good energy, loving energy, then you receive it back. That's natural.
Right.
It's a cycle. Everything is cyclical in this world. Has a cycle. You give good, you get good.
Yep.
You get bad, you get bad.
Yeah. It's magnetic.
Exactly.
I love that. Just knowing that is exciting. It's magnetic. You what you give, you gonna magnetize that to you, back to yourself. So we have to be careful not to get involved in what other people think about us or how they think about us, because what they think about us and how they think about us, we will draw that to us if we look at it in a negative connotation.
Right.
So Mark is saying some stuff. The people pleasing gets us in too much trouble. Exactly. I always wanted to look out for others instead of ourselves. That's something we do naturally. And then And then he said, "Wonder if cowboys like Gene are people pleasers."
Used to be, unfortunately, used to be.
Yeah, I know. And then he said, "I know sometimes motorcycle riders and others are." What were you saying?
I was just saying, I used to be a people pleaser. Now it's like, look, it's about what's best for everybody. But,
Yeah,
I'm not about to give up vital parts of myself to appease you.
right.
If we're not both equally, taken care of, then this is not a good situation.
Right. And the thing about something you just said about people pleasing and it benefiting both. I was gonna say, you might change to be what they want you to be or be how they want you to be, and they only be there 15 minutes. So how is that helping you? How is that you just satisfied them for that moment?
Right.
And now you sad, messed up, toe up from the flow up.
Yeah.
Because you ended up people pleasing.
Right. And you got nothing out of it.
Huh?
And you got nothing out of it.
Yep.
You gave part of yourself. So we talked about this before, but what we give our attention to is currency. Our attention and our energy is currency. So you give attention and energy to something that does not feed you back, then you feel slighted.
Yep.
That's just natural. So it's always incumbent upon us to have a balance between, giving and receiving. Make sure that you're giving to something that gives back to you.
Right.
Need something that feeds you back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of food, Mark said,
I'm hungry.
Huh? What happened?
But I'm hungry.
He said, like the people pleaser that will get the chocolate ice cream, even though they really want the vanilla swirl, but they want to please the person they're with. Like I said earlier, when our focus is on pleasing somebody else, we're making ourselves miserable. We choose the low road, And then he said, or watch an episode of Bones when you really want to watch NCIS, or a basketball game when you really want to go to the baseball game. That's true. We have to compromise in order for things to work and, for both.
Right. For both parties. Absolutely.
Yeah. So people who are rejected often experience other emotions, which are not reactions to the rejection itself, but reactions to the nature or implications of the rejecting event. So the rejecting events are, they include sadness when rejection produces a sense of loss, anxiety when rejections include anxiety when rejections include a threat to well-being or uncertainty about the future. And then another thing that the rejecting event is anger when rejections feel unjustified. You want to go with the next part? What you?
Well, that one, well.
You want to add to it?
No, I don't want to talk about it right now, guys. I don't even feel like going down that rabbit hole. Like, let's keep going somewhere else.
Okay, let's keep going on. Let's take the positive road. Okay, do I need to read this? So you cool down enough to read this?
I'm angry now.
Go ahead.
So understanding hurt feelings. Through research, it was found out that people's feelings tend to be hurt by 6 kinds of events. Number 1 being criticism. Number 2 being betrayal. Number 3 being active disassociation, for example, a romantic breakup. 4, a passive disassociation, not being included. Lord. 5, being unappreciated. And number 6, being teased. All of these events that make people feel rejected All of these are events that make people feel rejected. Simply put, hurt feelings are the rejection emotion. People who are often rejected experience other emotions which are not reactions to the rejection itself. I'm sorry, I went backwards. I'm still at the right place?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. People who are often, Jesus, people who are rejected often experience other emotions which are not reactions to the rejection itself, but reactions to the nature of implications other rejecting events.
Put your glass down.
I what are you
Hey,
talking
hey, hey.
about? I don't have a glass.
You had one.
I did. All right, yeah. Listen, you dry snitching now. You dry snitching.
I never heard of that before.
You dry snitching. Didn't nobody say anyway? These include sadness, when rejection.
Yo,
rejection
coffee.
produces sense of pride,
Okay, I stop. Go ahead.
anxiety, when rejections include a threat to well-being or uncertainty about the future, and anger when rejection feels unjustified. Yeah, I think you just wrote that. Anyway.
I'll read the next part, let you gather your thoughts.
I mean, I'm good. I got it. Importantly, people don't need to be actually rejected to have the subjective experience of rejection. For instance, even though we know that our romantic partners accept and love us, they can unintentionally make us feel rejected and hurt our feelings in certain situations. So, some key ways to help deal with rejection. First, recognize that rejection is a part of life.
Yep.
Like that's a regular, everyone experiences it. So don't take it personally.
Right.
I know it's hard sometimes to not do so, but it's just part of life. Accept it and move on.
Yep.
Some things aren't meant to be. Everything that happens for a reason.
Yep.
All right. Number 2, accept what happened. The worst way to cope with rejection is to deny it. So again, the first step to recovery in any AA program is first acknowledge the fact that there is a problem.
Yes.
So to deny it is to set yourself back.
Right. And I want to interject something. Going back to the beginning, when we were talking about what the heck, I just lost my train of thought. When you were talking about when we were talking about the pain, of how pain affects us, the pain in the brain in the same, we're experiencing, it's like experiencing physical pain. When we dang it, I lost my train of thought again. Shoot. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
We experience pain of rejection, physical pain and emotional pain, in essence, are the same thing in the brain. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I said that, but it was something that you just said that I was basically adding to. Oh, well, sorry. Lost my train of thought.
It's all good.
Where we at?
All right, so number 3, we process our emotions.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. If we don't confess or admit that we are hurting, how can we heal from the pain?
Right.
So we can't heal from pain if we deny it and act like it's not happening. So, and I think I was going along with you talking about drinking, like AA, if you don't first admit, that there's something, you can't heal from it.
Right.
So whatever I was thinking, y'all, just ignore me right now because I'm drinking my coffee.
And a big old Burger King cup. Okay. A lot of coffee there, Lord. How hype are you gonna be?
Go ahead with the next part. I
Right.
lost my whole train of thought.
So good. All right. So number 4.
Mark, why are you losing the choo-choo train? I used to love the train books as a kid. Didn't bring me or Gene any coffee. That's not right. Y'all don't need. I don't have this that often, so I ain't sharing. Go ahead, Gene.
Just greedy. Just
I know. Just ain't that selfish.
Okay. So number 4, treat yourself with compassion. Everyone has their issues. Accept that as a part of nature, and then give yourself grace first so you can give it to other people. Number 5, you want to stay healthy. Your health allows you to be available for other people. But if you can't you can't truly give from an empty vessel. I love that cliche. Can't give from an empty vessel. If you're not healthy yourself, if you're not whole yourself, you can give nothing to anyone but your brokenness.
Yep.
All right. Don't allow rejection to define you. Man, that's a word right there. That's a word.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, again, everyone experiences rejection. Accept that as a fact. However, just know that maybe that's just not where you are to be right now.
Right.
And move on. And then maybe it'll come around or maybe not. But at the end of the day, you did what you did at the best of your ability. If you were rejected for it, then all right, cool. Let's move on to the left.
Yep.
All right. So, and last but certainly not least, grow from the experience. Grow from the experience. Everything that you go through, grow through.
Yes. And that has been such a big thing since we heard it, haven't it? Yeah. I mean, it has really absolutely helped. So those words have definitely been of value in many of our experiences since we've heard it. So
agreed.
Always share positive information because you never know who is going to help. Like I said, those words have definitely helped us. So you want to add something?
No. I'm loving where we are.
Why acceptance feels good. To fully understand the pain of rejection, we first need to understand why acceptance feels good. People feel accepted when they think they have high relational value or worth to another person or group of people. A great deal of our behavior, thought, and emotion is driven by our need to belong to groups. We want to always be accepted in groups. We want to always be accepted by people. And that's something we have to learn to accept within ourselves. Otherwise, we're going to be miserable and unhappy because we're trying to belong. We're thinking more about belonging to a group and being accepted. And it just, it really affects our way of thinking. It affects our way of thinking about ourselves and about others when we do that. You want to add something?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing, I think you told me this when I was younger, like we're not always going to be we're not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Yep.
And that's just reality.
Yep.
You know, as long as you're not out here hurting people or, trying to force somebody to be something that they're not or something that's unhealthy or whatever, to a group of people, like just understand that's just the reality. And I think for the big thing for us, like we have to find that core, and this is probably going ahead, but we need that core group of people who we know accept us.
Right.
And that's what we really need. That's what we're all looking for. It ain't got to be everybody. Everybody ain't gonna like it.
Right.
I may be, you know, I mean, you may like vodka, I may be whiskey. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what
Yep.
I mean? So, and that's just the reality of things.
Right. That's good. We experience acceptance. Mark said, you mean you can't be recreated? Some folks are too busy trying to fix their friends when they need to be accepting of themselves. That's true. Man, we waste a lot of time focusing on things that we can't fix, things that we can't change. And it just makes us miserable.
Yep.
So go ahead. You got something to say?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope.
We experience acceptance when we think our relational value to other people is sufficiently high, but feel rejected. When our relational value is not as high as we wish.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready to unpack that, but I'm going to leave it alone. For anyone feeling rejected or struggling to feel accepted, first and foremost, the person needs to make sure they are not underestimating their relational value because of ambiguous social cues or misinterpreting neutral feedback from others as negative feedback. This is necessary because most people go through life feeling more rejected than they actually are. So on this, it makes me think about Ty Tibet with that $20 bill, his example of that $20 bill, you know, and so he had the $20 bill and he asked this lady, yep, to come on the stage, and he said, you want this $20? She said, yeah. He bought it up. He said, you still want it? She said, yeah. He threw it on the ground. He said, you still want it? She said, yeah. He went and stomped on it. He said, you still want it? She said, yeah. And I think he did one more thing with it. And then he picked it up and he said, no matter what I did with this $20, it never lost its value. And I love that. And that's something, I mean, that's a very good analogy of things in life, period. Right. You know, we can think we're not worth something, or somebody else think we're not worth something, but we don't lose our value because of the way people think about us or the way people treat us. All we have to do is continue to fill ourselves with positive thoughts, with good things to help us, to empower us, and to build us up. And forget about what other people say. Forget about what other people do, because their opinion has no value to us. It has to not have value to us, because if it does, if we make it have value, then we lose. And that's when we become miserable, feeling rejected, focusing on the rejection, depressed, down. Go ahead and say what you were going to say.
No, I mean, you said exactly what I was going to say. You know, going back to, you know, it all, like the person that needs to have the most value, their opinion have the most value, is the person that we see in the mirror every day.
Yeah.
If that person does not regard you highly, you know, then it's easy for other people's opinion to tip you off your, you know, your character. Yeah.
That's good.
People gonna have opinions that could be totally wrong.
Yep.
Totally wrong. And if you value yourself according to what other people and how other people see you, then you can never reach your full potential. But if you see the value in yourself as a reflection of the Creator, then there's no one who could tear you down.
Right. Yeah.
As long as you're doing what you can to make sure that you're not harming other people.
Yep.
Things of that nature. Who cares what other people think about you?
Right. So a way to think is, how am I building myself up? How am I helping myself to become better in my way of thinking? Then I'm allowing, you know, somebody else's thoughts and opinions of me to, which one am I choosing? I have a choice. Which way am I thinking? What am I choosing? What am I doing? You know, man. So for anyone feeling rejected or struggling to feel accepted, you didn't have something to say, did you?
No.
Okay. first and foremost, the person needs to make sure they are not underestimating their relational value. I just read that. And so,
you need to reiterate it though. Reiterate that back.
Okay. Make sure they are not underestimating their relational value because of ambiguous social cues or misinterpreting neutral feedback from others as negative feedback. This is necessary because most people go through life feeling more rejected than they really are. So make sure, that we're not misunderstanding what somebody is saying about us or how they're feeling about us. And that has a lot to do with other things that are going on in our lives. Because if we are already going through a lot of negative things, then we tend to not see things the way they really are outside of ourselves. So Mark says some of us have a hard time being rejected, even in the dating field. And some people are so subtle at rejecting you, you don't even know you have been rejected and kicked to the curb. And that's true. That's true. Okay. Viewed in this way, the first step to address one's concerns with rejection is to examine the evidence as objectively as possible, trying not to read too much negativity into them. So we just basically said that. So, how to boost feelings of acceptance. A person can boost their feelings of acceptance in two ways. First, by learning to ignore the negative reactions of people whose opinions of us are unimportant. I have to say it again, learn to ignore the negative reactions of people whose opinions of us because they are unimportant. And we just talked about nonverbal communication on our show last week. We can't pay attention to and engage in people's nonverbal communication about us. We can't just accept and receive things that aren't meant for us, that aren't building us up. I'll say that. So number two, another way you can boost your feelings of acceptance is by seeking connections with people with whom we would have a higher relational value. And again, don't put too much into that because you don't want to get into people pleasing. So don't focus so much on having a relationship with a person that values you, because when you have a lot of expectations about people and from people, then they do or say something to hurt your feelings, then you feel rejected. So focus more on building yourself up, giving yourself hope, not looking to other people to give you what you should be giving yourself. And that is love and kindness, generosity, patience, all of those good things to help you and to build you up. So, something to remember, the times when you have been accepted. Remember that when you made the cut. We don't always make the cut in relationships, but just remember that when you have, when someone told you yes, remember that. Don't focus on the no or the no's. Think of all the people who like you and support you. Make that your focus. Give yourself credit for trying. You too, you took a risk. Good for you. Remind yourself that you can and you will be able to handle the rejection. Don't focus on the rejection. Focus somewhere else. If there's rejection, then you know, okay, I can't be over there. I can't be with that rejection. I can't focus on that rejection. I can't focus on that hurt. I can't focus on that pain. Because when you do, what good is it doing you? It's not doing you any good. It's not helping you. It's not giving you any hope at all. So always focus on the good thing. If it's something negative, okay, Where can I get the good? What can I do? Listen to music, read a book, listen to an inspirational or motivational speaker, all kinds of things to build yourself up. Listen to water sounds and nature sounds.
Practice yoga. Take a long walk. Journal. Talk to someone that you trust and
Right.
unbiased, but still give you love with the critiques. It's important to have both in a relationship. You got to have a person who's going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Hey, you did this wrong, but you did this right.
Yep.
Also to give you context clues as to give you context clues as to where you can improve and become better, because that's the ultimate goal, to constantly evolve and constantly become a better version of yourself.
Yep. So hopefully that has helped. Yes, rejection hurts, but don't let it hold you back. Keep going, keep growing, keep pushing.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you want to do the next part?
Yeah. All right. Have you ever noticed how being turned down stops some people from trying again, while others bounce back from rejection stronger than before? Everyone experiences the sting of rejection, but mentally strong people use that pain to grow stronger and become better.
Yes.
You see how you took the rejection and helped to propel you forward, as opposed to exactly alchemy at its best. Taking a quote unquote negative situation and turning it into something that's making you better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's alchemy.
Yeah.
You're taking one thing and elevating it and helping yourself grow. That's beautiful, and that's how we should. And even those who experience it and are hurt by it, like, again, step back. We have to, as people, learn how to detach from, and I'm saying this out loud and I'm saying it to myself. Goodness, we have to learn how to step back sometimes and look at the broad picture.
Yep.
Again, I did this right. I did this wrong. Here's what I can do better. All right, so here's the plan for the next level. You know what I mean? And you constantly get to level up and grow from there. And
right.
It's a beautiful process if you can process those emotions and those feelings in a way that's going to build you up and be edifying.
Right. Where is your focus?
Yes, Lord. Say it again.
Where is your focus?
Well,
if your focus is not on the good thing, better put it there, or you're going to be miserable and you're going to be digging yourself out of a hole that you didn't have to be in, a mental hole that you didn't have to be in. But we have choices. We can choose to change the way we think. And then when we make that choice to change the way that we think, then we have to do things to help us get there. So again, whatever that is, journaling, listening to music, reading, whatever that is, that will help us change the trajectory of the way we're thinking. That's good stuff, Maynard.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's, again, taking, as we say often in this show, is that you're taking back your own personal power.
Yes.
Like we give away our personal power so much, counting on other people and other things outside of ourselves to help us be better, to do better. I mean, there's got to be a balance. At some point, you got to take personal responsibility for your life.
Yep.
Like no one controls it more than you do.
Yep.
You focus on negative all the time and you get negative. You didn't realize that you were feeding yourself negative. So you now you have issues with the negative that you're excreting, because like life is the excretion of what we constantly consume. The things that we see around us is things that we've consumed so much, and now we've excreted it into our real life as this thing that's negative.
Yeah.
So maybe if we consume positive things, we'll have more positive. Try that.
Right.
Yeah, one day. Come on, y'all. Y'all can do it. I believe in you.
You become what you eat.
Ooh, no, you are what you eat. I mean, listen, that's actually an esoteric quote there. You are what you consume, be it food, be it, energy, company, social media, TV, music, whatever. What you consume is who you become.
Yeah.
You eat a lot of pig, you'll become a pig.
Oink, oink.
Oink, oink.
Oh, that's good.
You eat a whole bunch of leaves, you get grounded.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so are we at
Yeah.
you just read that part. The 5 mental.
Yep.
You want to go ahead with that?
Yep, I got you. All right, so here are 5 ways mentally strong people overcome rejection.
Woo, woo, get prepared.
Come on now, shred it up, put the muscles out there. Yeah, pop the pecs, pop, 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 pop. We're gonna get mentally strong out here. We're gonna pop our mental pecs.
Right.
All right, mentally strong people acknowledge their emotions. Remember, we said the first step in recovery and growth is to acknowledge where you are currently.
Yes. Yep.
You have to know where you are in order to create a plan to go to another destination.
Right.
Got to have a plan and you got to execute, man. Come on now, execute. Come on now. Give me 15 push-ups.
You are silly, but that's true.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, so rather than suppress, ignore, or deny the pain, mentally strong people acknowledge their emotions. They admit when they're embarrassed, sad, disappointed, or discouraged.
Yep.
They have confidence in their ability to deal with uncomfortable emotions head on, which is essential for coping with their discomfort in a healthy manner. We all experience discomfort. That's a natural part of life. If you constantly seek for comfort, you will always be stifled. There will be no growth in your comfort zone. That's why the adage or the cliche goes, step outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
In order to grow. I mean, that's facts. Can't grow if you're doing the same things. If you're in a small pot and you're a plant and you want to get bigger than this, then you have to get into a bigger pot. So you have more room to stretch out, down, and up.
Yep.
As above, so below. As within, so without. More room to grow. Yeah, we grow bigger and taller. Come on now.
That's good. I want to add something. So, one thing that there's more to this, but I'm going to just say what I believe will be helpful. When I hear people say, when I hear a sad person or a depressed person say, I'm good. You ain't good. Stop lying.
Right.
How you going to get help if you going to lie?
Right.
You're in denial right now. You ain't good. You're in denial. You're lying.
Right. And
go ahead.
And first and foremost to yourself.
Yep. Be honest. Be authentic about what's happening, about what transpired. That's not saying you have to tell all your business or nothing like that, but don't lie. Don't be mad. Right. And we talked about this in our nonverbal.
Right, exactly.
Don't be mad and say you good, but you slamming cabinet doors. What the heck? Oh, you giving me mixed messages. You
exactly.
Somebody, I ain't gonna say
level up on your communication. Level up. Level up.
So admit how you really feel.
Right.
And then you can say after that how I want to feel. Right. I'm mad, but I don't want to stay mad.
Exactly.
I want to be happy.
Right.
I say that often because I don't like being mad. I cannot stand being mad.
Right.
But I ain't gonna lie and say I ain't mad when I am mad. Mm-hmm. And when people say I'm okay, but I'm not okay, or how does that go? I'm okay. Something like that. I'm okay, but
Not okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you're not really okay. Don't wear that out either. You know, I'm gonna say something. We have to be very conscious of the words that we speak.
Say that
And
again.
that's something. Say it to the people in the back. They
In the
need to
back.
hear.
Way in the
Hey, y'all, listen.
Is this thing on?
We have to be very aware of our words. Man, words have power. We hear that all the time, but the more I learn that, or not the more I learn it, the more that gets down into my soul. I'm like, man, this is really real. And so I'll take back words that I say, words that I'm used to saying that I'll say, and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, back it up.
Reverse.
Yes. And then I'll say something different. So we have to be very aware of our words. And I am more now than ever. And it feels good to know that that means I'm being aware and cognizant of what I'm saying.
Right.
And changing it, because I don't want whatever it was I said, but I do want, that good thing. But I'm still not lying. I'm just, gone, because I'm going somewhere else.
Well, and just kind of to add on to that, like, we have to be very aware of our words, because first we have to understand that words put together are a conjuration, which is why words have to be spelled. Our words are a spell. So whatever you say, I am this, I'm angry, I am sad, I am wealthy, I am, whatever you say behind I am is what you become. So it's very important that we are very cognizant and very judicious with the words that we use, especially behind the term I am, because that is the creation term.
Yeah.
I am this. So this formulates and makes up who you are.
Right.
I am nobody. Well, then you're nobody.
Right.
I am excited about, this, that, and the third. Then, the universe itself, it molds to give you that which you are excited about. If you feel like you're a nobody, then the universe constantly gives you things that make you feel like you're nobody. It reiterates the energy that you put out, especially behind the terms I am.
Something that came to mind while you were talking is whatever words we speak, we start building a house.
Yeah, I like that.
So if we're saying go ahead.
I was going to say I am is the foundation.
Yes.
That everything else is built upon.
Yep. And so you're going to get what you say, because that's what you're saying. I'm creating anger. I'm mad. So you're going to get more things that make you angry.
Yep.
So just think about, when you get mad about something and then more things come to make you angry, to make you more angry. And before you know it, you mad as all get out. I mean, you might turn red, because you're that angry. That's just, not literally red. Well, some people, depend on how dark they are, like me. But I mean, I'm just saying, I'm being silly. But I'm just saying, we actually build houses or knock down houses that has already been built because of the things that we say.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's powerful.
Death is in the power of the tongue.
Yes.
Yep. And also what you pay your attention to, what you pay attention to comes up more, and it builds more of that. And what you resist persists. So you have to acknowledge the first step to growth and change is to acknowledge where you are. You have to acknowledge where you are in order to go to the next step. Without that acknowledgement, you get the same vicious cycle of sameness. And that's insanity in the world.
Yeah. Mark says some folks live in the madness zone. They don't know how to get out of it. And some folks are not always happy, but they can masquerade and not reveal their real feelings.
Yeah.
That's very, go ahead.
I just said double tragedy.
Yep. And for when you masquerading, that means covering up. You covering up stuff that need to be, we can't just cover up stuff. We have to deal with it. And we have to deal with it in a way, again, that we've already said. We're going to have to deal with it in ways that are very helpful, and that's going to help us get to a better place in our mind. So what are we doing with that thought we have?
Yep.
You know, are we holding on to it, or are we letting it go to get something better? So we have to make a choice. Go ahead with the next part.
Yeah. All right. So whether you've been stood up by a date or turned down for promotion, rejection stings. Try to minimize the pain by convincing yourself or someone else it was no big deal. Will only prolong your pain. The best way to deal with uncomfortable emotions is to face them head on. Be completely honest with yourself about how you feel.
Yeah.
The more you put on a mask or a Band-Aid and mask the pain, the longer it lives. That's why I said earlier, the sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But words are often the things that hurt the longest because we don't address them.
Yeah.
We ignore them. Oh, that's no big deal. He just said, okay, but how did you really feel about it?
Right.
You need to examine and shine the light on it. Put the magnifying glass on it. You know what I'm saying? Put the magnifying glass on that thing and examine it fully and deal with it and be completely aware of it so that you can surpass it. It is a lesson. Everything that comes into our life that hurts is a lesson to grow you.
Yep.
You have to go through what will grow you.
Yep.
That situation is going to grow you if you can be completely aware of it.
And honest.
Yes.
About it.
Yes, absolutely. You gotta be. All right. So number 2, mentally strong people view rejection as evidence that they're pushing the limits. Yes, I love that. Lord knows that's me. Anyway, mentally strong people know that rejection serves as proof that they are living life to the fullest. They expect to be rejected sometimes because it's a reality. It's going to happen.
Yep.
And they are not afraid to go for it, even when they suspect that it may be a long shot.
Yeah.
Man, if you never get rejected, you may be living too far inside your comfort zone.
Yep.
Can't be sure you're pushing yourself to your limits until you get turned down every now and then. Let you know, oh, there's a barrier, so maybe I need to grow some more to get over that wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you get rejected for a project, passed up for a job, or even turned down by a friend, you'll know you're putting yourself out there. You can only grow when you risk things.
Yep.
You got to take a risk.
Yep.
I'll talk about that later. Number 3. Mentally strong people treat themselves with compassion. Oh my goodness, yes. Rather than think you're so stupid for thinking you could do that. Mentally strong people treat themselves with compassion. They respond to negative self-talk with a kinder, more affirming message. Whether you got dumped by your long-term love or blindsided by a recent firing, beating yourself up will only keep you down.
Yep.
Speak to yourself like a trusted friend. Drown out your harsh inner critic by repeating helpful mantras that will help you keep mentally strong.
Yep.
You have to build yourself up. Again, anything you say to yourself is a foundation to build upon the life that you see in front of you.
Yep.
So give yourself a firm foundation of affirming statements, and terms and mantras that help you keep growing better and better every time.
I want to interject. Y'all go back, I think 2 episodes ago, we talked about the inner critic. And so you'll hear more about that. That entire show was on the inner critic and the damage it does or the building up. So anyway, I just wanted to interject that.
Absolutely. All right. So number 4, mentally strong people refuse to let rejection define them. Mentally strong people don't make sweeping generalizations when they're rejected. If one company turns them down for a job, they don't declare themselves incompetent. Or if they get rejected by a single love interest, they don't conclude that they're unlovable.
Yep.
They keep rejection in perspective.
Yep.
Everything has a balance. You can't go far north without also recognizing that there's still the same space to go directly south.
Yep.
And then there's a middle ground between the two. It gives you the perfect climate between the the cold in the north and the hot in the south. Now
Yep.
you got, perfectly tropical climates
Yep.
in Florida. All right. One person's opinion or one single incident should never define who you are. Don't let your self-worth depend upon other people's opinion of you. Woo! I'm gonna say that one more time. Hear that back there? Hey, y'all hear that back now?
Yeah, y'all hear that?
One person's opinion or one single incident should never define you. Don't let your self-worth depend upon other people's opinion of you. Man, that's a word right there.
Yes.
A word right there. Just because someone else thinks something about you does not mean that it's true. Man, listen, sit back and breathe that in. Sit back and breathe that in.
Let's have a moment of silence.
Yes, for this moment of truth. Inhale. And exhale. There we go. All right. And then release it. All right. And 5th, and definitely not last, mentally strong people learn from rejection. I saw that right. Mentally strong people ask themselves, what did I gain from this?
Yes.
They can learn from rejection because every situation is a lesson to be learned.
Yes.
Are aware. Pay attention, man.
Yes.
Keep your eyes open.
Yep.
Rather than simply tolerate the pain, they turn it into an opportunity for self-growth. With each rejection, they grow stronger and become better. Whether you learn about areas in your life that need improvement, or you simply recognize that being turned down isn't as awful as you have imagined. Rejection can be a good teacher.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Use rejection as an opportunity to move forward with more wisdom.
Woo! Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, little John.
Okay. What?
So remember, we all experience the sting of rejection, but mentally strong people use that pain to grow stronger and become better.
Right.
Don't focus on the rejection. Let becoming mentally strong become your focus when you are rejected. Right. We're at the end of our show. You want to add anything?
Absolutely do. I want to say this from this entire message. I love this point. You are who you say you are.
Yep.
Let your opinion of you be the highest one that you have in your arsenal. People will always have something to say, whether it be good or be bad. But your opinion of you is the one that should define you.
Yep.
No one else's. No one else's. And that's all I got to say.
This was an awesome show. This is really good information. Y'all, we thank y'all for joining our show. We thank you for tuning in. We hope this has helped you and empowered you and inspired you like it has us. Keep going, keep growing. We send you away with peace, send you away with love. We speak joy and happiness over you and over your life. Excel in joy and happiness. Take care. See you next Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care and bye for now.